Is the Edmonton Oilers' hyped acquisition of Andrew Mangiapane nothing more than a delusional grasp at flame scraps, a reckless bet on a declining winger who's never been more than a middle six grinder and whose playoff DNA is just code for inconsistent production that will leave McDavid and Draisaitl carrying even more dead weight in their quest for a cup? That's the blistering hot take scorching through NHL debates right now, with analysts like Sean Gentle from The Athletic eviscerating it as a classic Oilers overreach. Mangiapane's past is prime, with regressing metrics and a contract that's bargained only if you ignore his vanishing acts in big games. This is Bowman buying low on a rival's cast-off, pretending it's a steal when it's really a trap that exposes Edmonton's inability to find real top six talent. Welcome back to Oilers Update, your unfiltered furnace for the raw, unsparing truth in orange and blue hockey. I'm your host, channeling the fiery skepticism this move demands. Today, November 7th, 2025, we're torching the buzz around Mangiapane's triumphant return to Alberta in Oilers colors, dismantling why the so-called cost-effective fix for our scoring woes is a mirage of hype that overvalues a Flames reject, squanders our limited cap flexibility, and distracts from the systemic failures in our forward depth that have doomed us in back-to-back finals. This isn't about hating on a hard-working Albertan. It's about brutal reality. Mangiapane's a solid role player at best, but portraying him as the top six scorer McDavid and Draisaitl need is the kind of self-deception that's kept us from a cup for 35 years. And it's time to call out this acquisition as the underwhelming band-aid it truly is. Let's dive in, expose the flaws, and project why this move could be the quiet killer that derails our season before it peaks. Because in oil country, we romanticize enough gritty ads that fizzled. It's time to demand elite talent that actually elevates us, not more middle-of-the-pack fillers from our bitter rivals. Let's cut straight to the chase on this acquisition that's being spun as a masterstroke amid our cap chaos. Because while the Oilers front office is patting itself on the back for snagging Andrew Mangiapane from the Calgary Flames in the offseason, the cold hard facts reveal it's an underwhelming gamble on a player whose best days are behind him and whose fit in our high-octane system is questionable at best. Mangiapane, the 30-year-old winger who spent 7 seasons with Calgary before this 2-year for $1 million AAV deal brought into Edmonton, arrived with promises of top six scoring and playoff grit, touted for his physicality, 2.1 hits per game last season, and ability to pot goals in tight spaces. He had 21 goals in 2021-22 with the Flames. The narrative is that he's a perfect complement to McDavid, 30 points in 14 games this year, and Draisaitl, 16 goals already, adding energy and secondary offense to a top six that's dominated the league with 3.4 goals per game, second overall, but occasionally lacks consistency when stars are double-teamed. Coming from our arch-rival Flames adds a spicy rivalry twist, with insiders hyping it as a steal that bolsters our depth amid cap pressures from returning injured players like Hyman and Janmark. On paper, his $4 million cap hit seems like a bargain in a market where top six wingers command $7+ million, and his grinding mentality is pitched as the missing piece to mask our defensive lapses, 2.4 goals against per game, 8th in the league, and goaltending questions. But here's where the hot take ignites like a prairie wildfire. This is fool's gold, an overhyped acquisition of a player who's regressed sharply since his 2021-22 peak, posting just 32 points in 75 games last year with Calgary amid a -7 rating and middling analytics like a 49.2% Corsi that screamed middle six at best. Gentle's evisceration hits home. Mangiapane's DNA is inconsistent. He's a Flames cast-off who benefited from Sutter's system but flopped without it. Oilers are kidding themselves if they think he's a top six fix when his career 0.56 points per game average is pedestrian, and this move just papers over deeper issues like our bottom six black hole, 1.2 goals per game, 25th in the league. And he's absolutely right. We've started 12-3 with a +25 goal differential, but our secondary scoring has been carried by the Stars, and adding Mangiapane won't change that. It's like expecting a spark plug to power a rocket ship. Building on that foundation, the first pillar of this hot take is that Mangiapane's vaunted physical energy and scoring touch are wildly overrated relics of his Flames heyday, making him a poor fit for our rush-dependent system, where he'll likely get exposed as a plotter who can't keep up a McDavid's pace or contribute meaningfully beyond occasional grit. At 5'10", 5'10" and 184 pounds. He's feisty with 1.9 hits per game career average, but his offensive output has cratered. After a 35-point season in 2022-23, he managed just 14 goals last year on a 9.8% shooting rate, down from his career 12.4%, with underlying metrics like 1.5 expected goals per 60 that rank him outside the top 100 forwards. In Edmonton's high-flying attack, we lead the league with 1.9 rush goals per game. Mangiapane's modest speed, 20.4 miles per hour top burst per NHL edge, and average playmaking, 0.7 high danger passes per game, will lead him trailing plays, turning potential odd man rushes into neutral zone turnovers. The hot take here, fueled by Gentle and echoed on 32 Thoughts, is that Mangiapane's a system player who thrived in Calgary's grind but will flop in Edmonton's speed game. His -7 rating last year and 48.6% Corsi show he's not a driver, just a passenger, and pairing with Draisaitl or McDavid will highlight his limitations, not mask them. We've seen this script. Acquisitions like Warren Fogiel, traded after inconsistent production, promised energy, but delivered middling results. Mangiapane similar, with a playoff resume of 18 points in 38 games, but no standout performances. He was pointless in Calgary's 2022 second-round exit. Compare what we truly need: a dynamic winger like Jake DeBrusk, 11 points in 13 playoff games last year, or even pursuing Frank Petrano, 30 goals last season. And Mangiapane looks like a downgrade, a guy whose DNA is more regular season flash than postseason fire. The controversy rages on HF boards, where users savage as Bowman falling for the rivalry hype. Mangiapane's a Flames reject for a reason. His $4 million is bargain. Only if you ignore his declining shot rate, 2.1 per game last year, down 15%. It's a valid burn. Our top 6 ranks first in expected goals, 3.1 per game. But adding Mangiapane risks diluting that with his 11.2% on-ice shooting luck this year, potentially regressing us in tight games against offenses like Florida's. Shifting to the second argument, the cost-benefit narrative of Mangiapane's $4 million contract is a smokescreen for a deal that's actually poor value, locking us into an average player price that strains our cap without providing the elite production needed to complement our stars, all while distracting from bolder moves that could truly transform our forward group. Sure, $4 million seems reasonable compared to $7+ million for top 6 wingers, but in our tight cap situation, $17.7 million projection for next year with extensions like Bouchard's looming at $9 to $10 million AAV. It's a commitment to mediocrity. Mangiapane's 0.56 points per game career average is closer to third-line output, and his 2-year term means we're stuck if he regresses further. He's already 30, with speed metrics declining 6% from his peak. The hot take gaining steam from insiders like Elliot Friedman on Sportsnet is that this is false economy. Oilers think Mangiapane's bargain because he's from Calgary, but his production has dropped 25% since 2021-22, and tying up $4 million in a non-elite winger blocks pursuits of true scorers like Alex Touch or Jason Zucker. It's dead on. We've allocated cap inefficiently. Arvidsson at $4 million has 4 points in 14 games, and adding Mangiapane's deal amid rumors of dumping Emberson or Stecker for space feels like robbing Peter to pay Paul, gaining depth but not impact. The debated opinion on the Steve Dangle podcast is scorching. Mangiapane's DNA is overrated. His 21 goals in 2021-22 were a fluke on a stacked Flames line. Oilers need a 30-goal threat, not a $4 million grinder who will post 40 points and vanish in playoffs. It's a brutal truth, with McDavid and Draisaitl carrying 58% of our offense, 48 combined points in 15 games. We need multipliers, not maintainers. Mangiapane's -7 last year, and 1.4 expected goals per 60 won't cut it against elite teams, where our second line has been outscored 12-9 in even strength play this season. Third, the rivalry drama of snagging Mangiapane from Calgary is a hollow victory lap that masks how this move fails to address our core offensive inconsistencies, potentially disrupting chemistry and highlighting why it's a step backward in a window where we can't afford half measures. Coming from Flames adds narrative spice, but his style, physical but not explosive, clashes with our rush game. His 1.2 controlled zone entries per 60 is mid-pack, and in Calgary's more structured system, they ranked 10th in transition goals last year. He fit, but in Edmonton's blaze, 2.0 rush goals per game, he'll be a drag. The controversy erupts on Puck Soup, where hosts blast. This is Oilers' buy-in to rivalry hype. Mangiapane's a grinder who scored 14 goals last year. Pairing him with Drace will be clunky, not catalytic, and his playoff DNA is non-existent. 6 points in 12 games in 2022. Compared to successful rival poachers like Zach Hyman from Toronto, 54 goals last year. Mangiapane's more like Milan Lucic from LA, gritty but declining. The hottest takes on Twitter are unanimous. Bowman got fleeced. Mangiapane's a Flames bust who won't fix our bottom six. 1.1 goals per game, 26. Use the cap for a real scorer. It's a damning critique. Our offense ranks first at 4.5 per game, but depth has faltered in losses, outscored 15-11, and Mangiapane won't ignite that. Looking ahead, betting on Mangiapane as our top 6 solution could perpetuate our cycle of star-dependent offense, locking us in an average production that fails in playoffs and leaves us regretting not pursuing true elites, potentially dropping our cup odds from 24% to 18% per money puck without a splash. If he delivers, it might mean 20 goals, but that's not transformative. Projections show plus 0.4 goals per game at best, not enough to overcome defensive lapses, 2.5 goals against in losses. The implication is dire. Another close season, with fans lamenting wasted cap on grit, while Mcdavid'S prime slips. Instead, trade for impact like Pavel Buchnevich or develop internally like Lavoie. This move's hottest condemnation is its rivalry-fueled delusion. It's time to see through the smoke. In torching this Mangiapane acquisition, we've exposed it as overhyped mediocrity that won't elevate our attack, reaffirming that true contention demands elite ads, not rival cast-offs. But that's my blistering take. Mangiapane's a bust. Is he the missing piece or a Flames flop? Ignite the comment with your takes below. Smash like if this fired you up, and subscribe for more scorching Oilers breakdowns. Let's fan the Flames.